All right, eggs love chanterelles. Chanterelles love eggs. One of my favorite things to do is just to saute up a bunch and throw them into an omelet. There is nothing better for a snack, for breakfast, for lunch, even for dinner. But tonight we're making quiche, which is chanterelles and eggs, and nothing better because it feeds a family. It's great for breakfast, it's great for dinner party, it is great for just an afternoon snack, for brunch, and nothing looks more fantastic. I am going to use some pre-done pie shells because it's the weeknight, and if you have time to make your own pastries, great for you. I don't. So I just got a couple of these. We're just gonna dock them, pop a few little holes here, and blind bake them so they don't go mushy at the bottom here. If you use pie weights or pie beans or whatever you like, fantastic. I've used these before. They tend not to need them. I'm making two because leftovers. So these go into the oven about 400 degrees for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, just until they start to turn a little bit golden brown. For our quiche, we are going to need about 3 tablespoons of butter, 2 shallots, or maybe a medium onion if you like. You can also use green onions if you want. I've got about 1 pound of chanterelles. That may seem like a lot, but you know, these are going to be front and center in this quiche, so don't be skimpy on them. And I'm making 2 quiches here. I've got some tarragon. You could use chives, you could use some thyme, you could use green onions if you like to go into there. For my 2 quiches, standard quiche recipe ratio is usually about 1/2 cup of milk or cream to 1 egg. I like a little more egg in mine, especially with a mushroom dish. So I'm gonna go for 2 cups of milk and 6 eggs. So I'm adding an extra egg per cup there. And just because I feel it tonight, a little bit of feta cheese on top. Now, we want to start off, get your pan heating up, and slice up your shallots. Now, you've got 2 options here. One, you could use a couple pans and dry fry your chanterelles and save some of that liquid that comes off, and throw them into some ice cube trays so you've got a nice little chanterelle stock there. But in this case, I've already got some in the freezer, and so I'm just gonna sweat these down afterwards and kind of cook off the water. It also will reduce and concentrate the flavor a little bit. All right, so we're just gonna slice these up fine. We don't necessarily want any big chunks of onions because we want the chanterelles to be front and center. Once you've got those, in with the butter in the pan, and just stir those around. While your shallots are sweating down there, start to chop up your chanterelles because they're going to join them in the pan very soon. You can either chop them nicely into quarters or chunks, or if you've got some big ones, you can tear them any way you want to get them a little bit smaller so you have some nice bits of chanterelle all throughout your quiche. Once your shallots have sweated down for about 2 or 3 minutes, it's time to go into the pan with the chanterelles. So, chanterelles are going to take a little while to sweat down and give up some of their water and let that reduce. You don't want to add too much water to your, you don't want to add any water really to your quiches. Speaking of which, they smell like they are just about nice and toasty and golden. And for these ones, just about perfect. They started to puff up a little bit and get a little bit golden. I'm going to set them aside and let them cool a bit. And while that's happening, we can turn our attention to the custard mix. So get a nice bowl. Into that goes your 6 eggs and your 2 cups of milk, or you can do some light cream if you want. Give those a little whisk, and I'm going to add some fresh tarragon here. Just chop that nice and fine to give a little extra flavor and color. Get those nice and mixed. Don't add too much salt at the moment, or any salt at the moment. You want to let those eggs just sit there and rest and kind of absorb some of that tarragon flavor. And you can add a little bit of salt and some fresh ground pepper just before you put the custard into the quiche. You can see that the chanterelles are giving up a lot of liquid. This would be a great opportunity to save some of that if you were just dry frying them, but I've got them in there with the shallots, so we're just gonna leave them be and let all of that water reduce out while the egg mixture kind of sits and the charred shells are cooling. The chanterelles have given up all their liquid, and you can see that there's just very little bit left in there. I'm gonna let that cook for another minute or two while the edges get a little bit caramelized. And in the meantime, turn ourselves back to our custard. All right, at this point now, we're just about ready. Add a good teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of salt, and a little fresh ground pepper to your egg mixture. You can grab your sheet pan that has your pre-baked pie crusts. That smells amazing. It's time to pull aside your chanterelles. I'm gonna let them cool just a little bit on the pan here. Don't need too much though. All right, now divide them evenly between your 2 pie crusts. And as I said, don't be shy with those. They are going to be fantastic. All right, now ladle or pour in your egg mixture till it just comes up to the edge of the pie crusts. Now, for me, a little bit of cheese on top. You could use some Parmesan, you could use some feta cheese, you can leave it completely plain, but I love just that little extra tang and kick on the top of my quiche. Drop the temperature down to about 350 and pop those into the middle of your oven. They'll take between 20 and 30 minutes depending on how deep and thick your pie crusts are, but you want to pull them out just when you can give the sheet pan a little bit of a shake and there's a tiny wobble in the middle. All right, so about 25 minutes and it's time to check on our quiches to see if they are done. Perfect, see that little jiggle in the middle? That means they are just about ready. Now, you may be tempted to eat those right away, but they need to sit up for about 10-15 minutes just to let them finish setting up and to cool down a little bit till they're ready to eat. Quiche is rested up, so it is nice and delicious. Still warm for dinner, but you can pop these in the fridge, save them for the next day, reheat them, eat them cold for breakfast. You're not going to want to stop eating these. I am going to tuck in to a little slice. Goes great with a little salad and some fresh radishes from the garden. Yeah, don't miss out on any of those mushrooms. It doesn't have to be pretty to taste good. Grab a fork, a little extra salt for me, maybe a little extra tarragon on top. Make sure you get a mushroom in every bite. Oh, really nice. And the tarragon, little licoricey with the chanterelles, absolutely delicious.